There is quite a bit I want to say about Contractors Showdown, but most of my impressions haven't really changed since beta testing, in that I think this game is absolutely brilliant and a massive win for VR as a whole. It's one of the best Battle Royale games I've played in or out of VR, and through beta testing, the developers Caveman Studio have shown they are not finished with it, even though it's now fully released. I personally want solos and duos, but I understand they are worried about splitting the player base too much, so for me, solos is my favourite way to play and get the win. But in today's video, I wanted to cover some basics to get people playing as quick as possible, and after spending a few hours on both platforms, Quest and PCVR, it's clear to me some of the gameplay mechanics aren't that clear to some players. So to start the quick start guide, we're going to start at the PDA, which is on the middle of your chest because it's super important. It shows the map, the amount of players left, and can be enlarged by pulling the trigger, so you can then pinpoint areas on the map for you and the rest of your team. You can also highlight a place of interest to your team simply by just looking in a certain direction, placing your hand to the side of your head and pulling the right trigger. Now back to the PDA. You can see 3 slots above it. These are the perks or the chips that you're going to find during gameplay. You can pick up things like decoys, cluster bombs, UAVs and more. To cycle these, simply hold the PDA in front of you and press the A button. Once you've selected what chip you want to use, simply flip the PDA on its head to create a cursor, and then all you do is point to where you want to use it and pull the trigger. Also during gameplay, you're going to find different coloured chips. White is common, green is rare, and blue is even more valuable. These first need to be decrypted on the battlefield by grabbing them and placing them into your PDA. If you look down, you'll see a percentage bar which tells you how long each will take to decrypt, and you can only do one of these at a time. Once the game is finished, you'll head to the chip workstation and decode these for credits, unlocks and more. In the game on your left shoulder, you'll also find a backpack. You can increase the size of this by buying a backpack extender perk at one of the purple stations. You can also increase other features like ammo and the amount of armor you can use the same way. Personally, I always prioritize backpack and armor increases. There's also insurance in the game. If you head to one of the medical stations, here if you have enough money you can buy standard insurance, which I think basically just enables you to spawn back in, or you can buy the higher tier insurance, which basically increases your chances of survival upon redeployment, where you'll get a gun, armor and health. Also at this station you can buy back in other players if you have enough cash, so if any of your team members go down, head to a medical station and you can buy them back in. Another quick tip while using your PDA, if you simply put your hand near it and press the grip button only once, it will basically highlight all the areas of interest on the map in front of you. Now back to the items on your actual body. You can use armor plates by simply grabbing the plate from your chest and sliding it across your chest. It is a little bit finicky and it does need practice, but eventually you will get the hang of it. You also have a quick inventory on both sides of your chest, left being grenades, gas canisters for example, and on the right is armor and health. Simply hold your hand to whatever side you want to do a quick selection of and press the Y or B button to quickly cycle these important items. This is something that everyone I spoke to didn't really seem to know much about, and it's probably the most important thing out of it all. Also remember to keep an eye on the incoming storm, and remember the bigger the storm the less damage it will do to you. In the early stages of the storm it's worth taking a risk to get the kill or get the stash of cash or the item, as long as you have enough bandages and health to counter the damage you're about to receive. That's pretty much all I've got for you guys at the moment. The rest of it is pretty much self-explanatory. Thanks for watching the video and good luck.
One down.